I am a young woman who has just been married. Before we got married, my husband and I had a good relationship. We stuck together day and night. Sometimes they don't even get out of bed for a day. But everything changed after getting married. It was like he had suddenly lost interest in me. Not only is the frequency of intimacy getting lower and lower, I even played with my phone as soon as I got home. I don't know what I'm looking at. Only some months of marriage. I was almost widowed. This is what a newlywed couple should look like, extrapolated from his usual routine. It can't be that I've found another woman, so something must have gone wrong between us. Until one day, I found 2 small movies in his phone. One of them is about a beautiful young woman doing an oil massage, crazy teasing by a male technician, and her husband was separated by a curtain, and female technicians upside down. The other is even more outrageous. It's about a newlywed wife who has just finished taking a shower, but I met a drunk husband who was sent home by a male colleague. Unexpectedly, the male colleague became interested when he saw it, violated his wife in front of her husband, and the husband was not only not angry, instead, in the process of picking at his wife's cheating, indescribable psychological satisfaction was obtained. Although I couldn't understand the plot of the movie, but anyway, this at least proves the husband. There are still normal physiological needs, so how does he usually solve it? It must have been secretly self-releasing while watching a small movie. What a waste! The next day I went to work. I was indignant, looking into the reflection of the window. That shy and resentful face, an indescribable sense of loss welled up in my heart. My husband would rather watch a movie than touch himself. It gave me a strong sense of frustration. It's too much of a failure for a woman. Back home in the evening, looking at my husband who was lying on the sofa watching TV, I thought about those 2 videos on my husband's phone. Could it be that my husband has awakened some strange sexual fetishes? I thought about the plot of the movie, pondered, why did he download these 2 videos? What are the commonalities between the 2? This is definitely an important breakthrough. I want to test my suspicions. Husband, why don't you go for a massage together on the weekend? Good. My husband agreed very simply. Soon I found a spa shop online. The slogan there is to enjoy the supreme pleasure. Let your body relax completely. As for how to be pleasant, I can only say that everyone who understands it understands. When I got to the store, I whispered to the front desk that I wanted a husband and wife massage. The other party smiled tacitly. Guide us through one. A corridor with many posters of beautiful women. Entered a dark room. There are 2 beds in the room. There is a curtain in between. My husband and I swapped for what was provided in the store. Disposable underwear lying on a massage table. Eyes collided. For some reason I just feel dry mouth, rapid heartbeat, especially when I think of the plot in that video. There was an inexplicable tension in my heart, just when I am thinking about it. The masseur came. It was a tall man. It should have been deliberately exercised. The muscles are full. He handed me an eye patch and motioned for me to put it on. Why do you still need to wear an eye mask for massage? I was full of doubts but embarrassed to ask. Only as he asked, lie down on the massage table after putting on the eye patch. At this time, I can't see the situation on my husband's side. Only a young woman could be hurt. I was whispering softly with my husband. Not for a while. It came from my husband's side. A faint gasp in the ears. I don't know what the female technician is doing to her husband, but it's clear he's happy now. Husband, you have to hold on. No matter what, we must not betray our marriage. I slandered in my heart. It makes me worried and excited at the same time. I couldn't help but guess what the hell happened on my husband's side. The more I thought about it, the more scared I became, but the more excited I became. At this time, the masseur came to the end of the bed. Madam, I'll give you a back first. Please relax. He poured some essential oil onto my back. After sucking the snorkel for a while, he also went to bed. The legs were straddled at my sides. A pair of fiery palms shone on my shoulders. The temperature is unbelievably high. Not only did it not cause any discomfort, on the contrary, it can be felt clearly. The skin texture evenly dissolves the essential oils. My attention was diverted. Feel the skin being caressed by the masseur getting hotter and hotter. The range is also gradually expanding. Enjoy this first-in-life experience. He rubbed around his body. It softened all my muscles, bones, skin, and flesh. The whole body is crispy and numb. I don't know where I am anymore. It's so comfortable. I was immersed in the fragrance of essential oils and the shiver of my skin. Twisting his waist and hips slightly, let out a satisfying soft grunt. I was rubbed by such a pair of hands. Don't take the initiative to welcome. It's already the last bottom line I can stick to. Next up are the legs. The legs are similar to the back, but more forcefully. It also takes longer. I started thinking again. Will he treat me like he did in the movies? Do I want to resist? Is this foreplay? That's when the masseur's palm came, rubbing from my calves to my thighs, came to the buttocks again. Rub it into a variety of shapes. This is more intense than the open back just now. Let my body start to heat up. I couldn't help but raise my neck. It was as if he had received a signal. Work harder. The range of massages is getting bigger and bigger. The intensity is also getting heavier. Is Mrs. comfortable? Well, it's comfortable. I don't know how long it took for the masseur to ask again. Mrs. now needs you to lie on your back. I'm sure he's taking advantage of me. After all, I'm barely on my feet right now. But after putting on the blindfold, the darkness in front of me gave me a lot of courage. I obediently rolled over and turned face up. Exposed to this man, I could feel a body spitting hot air slowly come to the head of the bed. After another period of incomprehension, a hot object touched my lips gently. I froze. Could this familiar smell be his tinting? But isn't he wearing clothes? When did you take it off? Just when I was nervous and excited. When the heart flutters and beats. He leaned into my ear. Say it at a barely audible volume. Now enjoy. I panicked a little and reached out to stop the male technician, but his hands were restrained by the male technician. I did hold it at first. Let's find out what to think about having fun. I didn't expect this store to really have this kind of service. It's time for this. It is false to say that there is no burden at all. What is my husband doing over there? There seems to be some noise, but the music in the room was too loud. It's a little inaudible. Don't mess around. I could only whisper in my voice. The male technician covered my mouth. Isn't it just for fun? Your husband is also having fun now. Do you want to take a look? I'm skeptical. I saw the male technician take off my blindfold, quietly lift up the corner of the roller blind. My eyes widened instantly. Over the curtain, the female technician was already lying on her husband's body. That's exactly the plot in the movie. For a moment, my heart throbbed. It turns out that my husband is really tired of me. I'm just not interested. The male technician also wants to move on to the next step. At this time, my heart was like ashes. On the contrary, he did not resist. Let's move on somewhere else. I give double the money. You take the excess, but don't talk about it. The male technician heard that I would give more money. My eyes lit up, made a gesture that was okay. The male technician and the staff of the massage parlor talked about it. Soon took me to another private room. I have mixed feelings. Driven by desire, I let the male technician take off my clothes. He also cheated. It's nothing for me to do that. Since he betrayed first, then why should I be stupid and hold on? I brainwashed myself. Tell yourself it's nothing. When I was done, I walked down the hall. I found my husband already waiting there. My husband asked me where you went. I was a little panicked. But think about it. Both of them cheated anyway. There's no shame in it. So I relaxed a little. I know what my husband is asking, but I still deliberately misunderstood what he meant. Roundabout and said, I went to take a shower. My husband didn't ask. It's just that I happily said that the service of this store is good. Can come back next time. I nodded. After lowering his head, he couldn't help but sneer. I don't know if I'm in bad health. It's still not okay with my husband. Several times before, I just didn't get pregnant. I'm even guessing, is it because my husband is not in good health? That's why I've been hiding and don't want to fall in love with me. I'm afraid of being noticed, but this is not known, because I didn't go to the hospital to check it out. It's not good to ask directly. After all, what man would admit that he can't? My husband is because of the company's business. Travel is required for a certain period of time. I just find it really boring to have a day like this. So I ran to the bar to get drunk. The bar is brightly lit. Men and women of all colors dance in the dark. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's still very lively. I sat at the bar, while looking at the handsome guys and beauties coming and going, while pouring glass after glass of wine into his stomach. I don't drink very well. After a few glasses, I quickly fainted. At this time, I seemed to hear someone calling me a beautiful girl. A pair of hands were on my shoulders. I turned my head to look like a young man. Looks like a husband. In a daze, I subconsciously shouted at the man, "Husband." The man smiled and asked if I wanted to play along. I didn't react. It seems to say yes. Then my memory was shattered. When consciousness is regained again, I'm already lying on the bed without an inch. The sky was bright outside the window. It was already morning. I felt a sore back. Try to remember last night's events. Only know yourself and a strange man had a one-night stand. It seems to be E, and it seems to be R. On the ground were countless used condoms. I don't know who the other party is, although I always knew that a one-night stand was bad. But when I woke up, I suddenly changed my mind. I think this seems like a good way to dispel my sorrows. Just like that, I pretended to be confused with my husband. Together ordinary through the days. He wants his pleasure, and I find my happiness. Leave no one alone. Back home is still a husband and wife relationship on the surface. You can also have a meal together. Something doesn't seem right, but it seems reasonable. What the days ahead will look like, I didn't expect much.